Welcome to Amateur Redneck Workshop. I'm Harold, and well, we know that I've been concerned about my belt grinder and the loss of the motor, and I put together a phase converter and motor combination to run the thing. So now we've got to mount the motor on the on the belt grinder. But this is a 56C frame motor. There's no actual bracket on it. I mean, you know, no external thing on it to mount it to. You got to bolt this motor onto a frame of some type, and so I'm going to have to fabricate a motor mount to put this thing on. And the easiest way to do that is to cut something out of metal with my plasma table and weld it together. So to do that, I've been learning enough Inkscape to make my own drawings for the plasma table, and it seems to be easier for me to learn than Fusion 360. I know that's probably sacrilege and all that, but it just seems that way. And the nice thing about Inkscape is you can put a picture in it and it'll convert a picture to an SVG file, which, you know, then SheetCam can convert that to G code, and you can cut out whatever that was a picture of, you know. So that's why I'm going that route with Inkscape, because it seems to me like for plasma cutters it's probably more productive to use it. Oh well. Anyway, I checked with an electrical engineer on my motor wiring, and I've got it wired right. It's just there's something else going on with it, but it seems to be workable, and we're going to be able to mount for it, and we're going to put it on the grinder, and it'll be half the grinder that that it was, because it'll have half the horsepower and half the RPM. So, but it'll still grind stuff, and that's what's important. And we'll gain some experience there with phase converters, right? Let's just get on with it. And as you can see with that hole in the metal there, I tried to make a cut one time already and discovered that my torch tip was completely in need of replacement again. Hardly did anything with it before it got in that condition. I'm thinking that I need like a hypertherm or something good, because this is just not going to do the job. This thing, you get 4 or 5 cuts on a tip and then it's already trashed and you have to have another one. That's not a good thing. Alright, we'll crank her up and see if we can't cut this plate out part of my motor mount. Alright, let's see if I did any good. I have to remove this guy. Well, we cut it out, but it's still stuck. Alright, there's one little spot there it didn't cut all the way through. I don't know why that was, it didn't make the full circle, but we'll get that knocked loose and we'll cut the other motor parts. Well, the plate fits on the motor after a little bit of running around inside it with a burr. When I did the drawing, I did it exactly 4.5 inches, and this little flange right there is 4.5 inches, so I probably should have made it, you know, a tiny bit bigger. Could have saved myself about 15 minutes with a burr. But we've got that done. I could have put the holes on there also, but I was kind of worried about that maybe they wouldn't be very round and then they'd be hard to drill. So later on, when I get more experience, we'll start putting the bolt holes in. Alright, now we'll cut the little triangular braces for the motor mount. Well, there's not much, let me zoom this back, whoa, wrong way. There's not much dross on these things, so take me just a little bit to clean them up, and then these two pieces will be done. And then we'll have to do the bottom of the motor, you know, the bottom of the motor mount. Alright, let's cut out the bottom piece of the motor mount. not, but welded itself to the stupid metal. There. And that's the amount of dross we got for this one. This is more than the other one, but I guess we had more variation in the height of the torch. Let me clean the dross off and we'll move on to the welding. I already copied that pattern I put the little transfer screws in each hole and then just whacked away at it with a hammer. And let me pull the zoom back. And you can see I've got a mark here and here and here and here. So now all I got to do is drill appropriate holes in there, and then I'm ready to start welding things together. These are the little guys that were screwed down into the bolt holes, and you can see it's got a sharp point. I left it just a little bit of the point sticking up on each one, and then, you know, as you can see, hammered that little piece of metal down on them. Alright, I've got it set up with the magnets, ready to tack down, and I don't normally do any video of welding because when I watch welding it's boring as everything, and I don't think you're going to watch it either. Alright, so let me weld this up and then we'll be back and see if it fits. Alright, the motor mount worked out pretty good, and it's not painted yet, but I want to see where I'm going to wind up with its position. I gave myself a lot of adjustment so that I could move it to fit the belt wherever the belt was going to be. Now, alright, here we go. So, let's get the motor to come this way just a little bit, and if you're able to take a look here, you can see that I've got plenty of slots there to move that motor sideways. So everything's going to work out even better than I had expected. So now that I've gone through all the struggle and strain of lifting that motor up and bolting it on there, I'll go through all the struggle and strain of taking it down and painting that mount. I wish I had this color for the mount, but I don't. And I'm not going to go to the store, so it'd probably wind up red or black. Red would be a good color. Everything else is red. Or I could make it even yellow. We'll see. I'll surprise you guys when I wake you up again. It looks a lot like that motor mount's going to be black. So there you are. There's your surprise. It's late. I'm going to knock off for the night, and we'll worry about putting that on tomorrow. How about that? Collet rack set up there with my most commonly used collets and a couple that I haven't used yet. So that should do the job. Thanks again, Bruno. Okay, at long last the motor mount is installed. The motor's installed. I've wired the controller to the motor. Got the external ground wires just run down the side of this one. It hooks on inside the box. We'll turn this guy up to about 55, and we'll push the run button and see if the belt comes off. That's, you know, the most likely thing to have happen. On this one here, before I push the start button, where the old motor was on there, I discovered I was an inch too far over the holes in this plate, so I put these two little aluminum pieces on there and moved the holes over to the left an inch. Well, I got ready to put this motor mount on there, and I'd taken those aluminum pieces off, and I was an inch too far over with the holes in the plate, so I had to put these aluminum bars back on, bolt it down on there. It's just right now. So let's give the belt a little twist and see if it stays on, or whatever. Well, something is wrong with my wiring. obviously. Well, before I let any magic smoke out, go back and check it. Alright, the drive pulley is a little further back than the previous motor because it sets back a little further. And when I say back, I mean back towards the camera. So I had to readjust the little jolly that keeps it tracking right. And now I've got it tracking right down the middle of the wheel. And it looks to be good up front. But it was touch and go for a minute there. It wasn't looking too good for a couple seconds. Alright, so I discovered something else. The place I put the ground wire is obviously not for the ground wire. So I'm going to pull the ground wire out of the inside there, and I will just fasten it together to one coming from the outside, and it will not be connected to the circuit board. Undoubtedly I did something wrong. They didn't intend that for an earth connection. Alright, after much work and much shimming in one direction and shimming the motor in the other direction, I've got the belt tracking just fine, and it's running smooth and quiet. It's like I said, there's half the grinder. There's the big shower of sparks is gone. It does eat the metal quite well. As you can see by the curve on this little guy right here, we ate that corner down pretty good. We'll do this other corner. And so you see, it still works, but he's just not the Tasmanian devil metal eater that it was before. But working is working, and I got the experience of fooling with the little single phase to three-phase converter, and I'll be probably doing some tuning on that later. If I learn anything, I'll pass it on. One thing I did learn is that ground wire doesn't go on the screw I put it on. I'll try to make note of that somewhere in the video. So Bubba got a job as a sheriff, there in local county. One day he sees this guy coming down the road, and he felt like the guy was driving a little bit too fast. He pulled him over, went up and asked to see the guy's license. After he looked it over, he says, well, I'm going to give you 2 tickets. The guy said, well, what do you mean 2 tickets? What for? He said, well, in the first place, he says, you were driving 10 miles over the speed limit. And in the second place, it says on your license here, you're supposed to be wearing glasses. He says, you ain't got no glasses on. And the driver says, yeah, but he says, I got contacts. Bubba says, I don't care who you know, you're still getting these tickets. Well, that's all, folks. Y'all try to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber. Leave a comment if you got something to say. And above all, remember, keep on keeping on. Bye now.